Never mind. We'll do it later.
We would like to introduce to everybody that's out there, all one of you guys now because you're our Twitch followers. But anyways, all those people, we'd like to bring on Lupe Leyva, who is the father of Haley Leyva. But this man here, he's the one that created her. Here he is.
Well, he's all.
Oh, okay.
Lupe, how you doing, my friend?
How's it going, boys?
Going well. Going well.
So, how was the weekend?
It was good and bad. So, where do you want me to start with, the good or the bad?
Well, you know what? I always like to get the bad out. Let's just get the bad out of the way.
I was just gonna say, let's get the bad part out of the way.
All right. Well, a couple of things, but we'll start off with the cheesecakes. Noble effort, played well, did not win a set.
So that is heartbreaking.
It's been a rough year for them, unfortunately, because of the situation with their field over in Louisiana. So they've had to drive in 3 hours in each direction to practice. And, Haley hasn't been able to practice with them much because of her schedule as far as with her pro team and also dealing with the AC kids.
Right.
So, and, as far as tournament-wise, I guess that whole face-off that was in the pro game kind of set the tone for probably everything because it was nothing but arguments and fighting at this last tournament we were at. It got pretty rough, and it even got to a point where I almost got involved because somebody decided to touch one of my kids. So
what?
Yeah. No, not bad, but he was arguing with him, and it got a little heated, and so I had to jump in there, and then the owner of the field pushed me away. He was an old friend of mine, and I had apologized to him because I was like, you're right. I shouldn't stoop down to this guy's level. It's a team that AC Kids has beaten the last 3 tournaments that don't like us because they don't like to get beat by a bunch of under 18 kids that are very good at what they do and are very well coached. So it's just one of those kind of things. Oh, and by the way, AC Kids won the tournament. So
beautiful.
Nice. So
that's awesome. Beautiful.
And the team that they were arguing over a phantom hit because it came down to a one-on-one, and their guy didn't have a working gun, but he somehow claims to have shot our guy in the one-on-one. So whatever. Grown man arguing with a 17-year-old kid and wanting to fight with them. So that's why, I guess as far as what happened in Chicago, I was like, now, they sensationalize that a little too much as far as I know tournament talk is over, but they sensationalize too much.
Started all over again.
It's kind of setting the tone. It kind of set the tone for the whole weekend. It seemed like, it was not nobody could really have complained about the weather down here because it was low 90s, which is fall for us.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad for your area.
And
no, it's not.
The field was a little rough, but it wasn't terrible. And just everybody had short fuses this week, and I think it was, it was pretty rough. And then the team we ended up playing in finals. That team that we've been kind of rivaled with, they ended up in 4th place, and we ended up playing one of the teams from our home field, and we beat them 3-0. I say we, not we. They did. Those kids are amazing. So for their ages, our youngest one's 13, and he should be playing at a higher level. Our oldest one is 18 years old. The rest of them are all fall in between there, 15, 16-year-olds. So they're incredible. And Haley corrals them somehow. And then, they made her cry a couple of times, but she really loves them all. And, and the moms are great parents. You don't run into too many great parents in paintball. They don't get it. They don't totally understand. But we've had some parents that are like, you know what? She sounds like she knows what she's doing. We'll let her take it, and we'll just believe in her. And they've been really supportive. So we've been very fortunate for that.
Good.
That's awesome. That's great news for the AC kids, and it sucks to hear about the cheesecakes because we just brought them into the staple of our, but we love Seth, and we keep telling everybody that they got to support the man because he's trying to field his own team soon.
Yeah, he's trying to get an X-ball line of his own.
After the next one, he will be technically playing AC ball, which would be a 6-man roster at a pro event. So. I know this. I've had to sit in those AC pits for first place and last place, and I know.
Going
quick.
A little off topic, but speaking of AC, so how about Diesel coming into the weekend looking strong? I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing I always joke with Greg Pauly, and I've joked with Jell and Haley about. I said, you do know AC Kids has got a better record than the other two AC lines. and he's like, I won't say it to Mark. I'm not that stupid. I can outrun Jill and Greg, So, so yes, I was,
Thank you.
How can you put, I was happily surprised by that. They looked good. They looked great, after the fall of the AC Dallas line and all that, and them going back to Fit, which they did great in this tournament too, up until.
Honestly, I think Fit is just trying to punch their ticket back into the pro ranks.
I think so too, but it's gotten really tight because obviously I got one of the coaches for AC Kids, he plays on FSU, so of course. Right. We're paying attention, and he's trying. This was the first tournament that he wasn't here to coach them because he was in Chicago, obviously, and that's who played for first and second was FSU and Blast Camp, which is also, we've got some good friends on that team, and one of Haley's teammates from back in the Vegas days of NXL Vegas, she's on that team too. At one point, we're 2018 World Cup. Haley and Jenna were like the youngest rostered women. Well, I think they were the youngest rostered people there for any of the divisions. So, and they were great. Yeah, and Jenna's older brother, he plays on Blast Camp, and he's really good. So, but it's kind of between those three teams now as far as punching their ticket to the pro bracket, unless somebody buys their way in, which looks like it may happen. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say it may happen doing that whole buying back into the pro ranks, which
because
I wish they wouldn't allow that. I wish they would actually allow to just fight their way in, because come on, that's the whole point to it, right?
And I'd advocate for a little bit of contraction in the league too, as far as the pro league, and they'll never do it, but because I think there's maybe 2 teams too many right now, so.
Yeah, and I was actually going to touch on that very same point when I was looking up the final standings, so we could see like who took third and whatnot like that in the pro brackets. I know I've said it before, and that I feel like we keep seeing the same, 3, 4, 5 teams at the top of the brackets every event, and the fan of the sport in me would love to see some of these other teams start having a better showing, because don't get me wrong, they all play dynamic paintball, but I'm getting kind of tired of seeing Impact, Dynasty, Legion. It's the same teams over and over again.
Yeah, and it's like it's for the longest time back in the. God, way back. I can think as far back as I can, and I remember it was like Red Legion, Dynasty, Red Legion, Dynasty.
Yep.
Or at least 2015, 2016. And you said when we flipped over from PSP to NXL, it started getting a little more, a few more teams jumping in there. I can't complain about Impact. My adopted sons, the Jackson brothers, this was their, they won that. John, he owns Pro Edge Paintball here, and he's a big supporter of Haley, and a big supporter of AC Kids as well. And, he's just a real good guy in general. And so is Fuzz. And like Haley is like, Fuzz's girlfriend, Shari, which if you saw any of the pictures from Chicago, that's who he's hugging and kissing. And that's like Haley's big sister. We're a really tight paintball family here with them. And I love them all.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy one. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't have anything bad to say about Impact myself.
Right.
I mean, when Impact was starting to come up in the ranks, we did a whole segment with them when I had Sunday Clothing, and they were like the coolest guys to hang out with.
Yeah.
Bart is him and his wife were just awesome. I loved talking to them, and his wife was always so warm and welcoming and stuff. It was really cool. So good on them for getting to where they're at. And even though I still keep saying, God, it's the same teams. It's either going to be Dynasty or it's going to be Impact in the end. But I got nothing bad really to say. It's just I want to see somebody else.
You know, it was kind of nice because when you like I was at Texas, and you know it was a minor, but it was kind of nice. I turned around and I'm like, wait, you know that what moment like Damage is in there, which isn't saying much because they are a good team. But wouldn't it would be nice to you know, WTF DMG is playing in finals?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That would be nice. You know, it's like parody is what the word I was looking for earlier.
Yes, thank you. That's
sorry.
Yes,
perfect. My English is pretty good, so it's only my.
Well, you know, I wanted to bring up a point that you brought up when it came to that one adult who wanted to basically argue with your kid over a stupid thing that happened on the field, which it's like, come on, it's done. It's over with. I get it. We're in it to win in the end, but this is not like, we're not pros. And they called it the way they called it. And it is what it is. And how we see what happened at Chicago. And yes, it's almost like they sensationalize it. And these kids get this idea in their head
that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to come on and be like an absolute and utter just moron on the field. And it's like, dude, get over it. It happened.
And and we try really hard with our kids. We do have one kid that he is like a can of gasoline sometimes, and he does run his mouth. Now, to be fair, he kind of has the right to, because he's probably one of the best 16-year-olds in Texas, dare I say America. So, and he can
definitely back it up with his skill on the field.
Yes, he can back it up. Now, does he got kind of a poor attitude towards some players? Yes, but we try to reel him in. But you know, this guy. I mean, you know, we had a similar incident at Texas. Our first point was against some team from Alabama, and we went 5 alive on them. And the last guy was in the Dorito corner, and that kid in particular ran him down, shot him, and then he waves at their bench, because the benches at Go Sports not Go Sports, at Giant are behind instead of on the side.
Yeah.
So he comes back to our pits. I'm over there doing something, and then Haley's tugging my shirt, and I was like, hold on, I'm doing something. I was like fixing a gun or something. Then she almost rips my shirt off, trying to get my attention. I turn around, and it's one of their dads comes over to our pit, grabs our kid, and said, "What are you doing overshooting my kid?" Oh. So I went Novato mode, and I turned around and grabbed him by his shoulder. And by the way, the best part about this, somewhere, and I think Haley has them somewhere, her buddies, one of her buddies is Michael is an NXL photographer, caught the whole situation. So you can see where I spin him around. You can see the angry look on his face. And then you see him lock eyes with my large buddy behind me. That is my friend Cliff. And he suddenly stopped what he was doing. And I was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, I'm like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "We overshot my kid." And I'm like, "Welcome to tournament paintball. Now get the out of my pits before I said the dumbest stuff. I said the dumbest thing. I started yelling.
You know what?
I went into dad mode, and so I started yelling dumb stuff. But I know a lot of refs in the NXL and here. So just so happens one of the NXL refs that was on our field was one of the old guys that used to play for Texas A&M paintball that I know. And I'm like, Fabian, I go, what the hell is this guy doing over here yelling and touching at my kids? And he's like, you need to get back in your pits. And I'm like, you come over here again, I'm going to get Tom Cole to kick you out personally.
There's
the dumb thing. So, and then needless to say, our next point that we played was on the visitor side, and that's where they were pitted up.
Oh, no.
So, but, sometimes, so then I went over there, and there was a mom there, and they're all standing there quiet because they're like, oh, that big Mexican dude, which I'm only 5'8". I'm not that big, but I guess I looked angry enough, right? Angry minority man was over there. And then I turned around after we started our point. I said, all right, who got overshot? And the kid comes up and he does like that. And I'm like, okay, sorry about that. But it's going to happen in paintball. And then the dad that came over to our pits walked over, and I said, look, I'm sorry, but you can't blame me. I just look up and I see somebody grabbing one of my kids. I go, I would expect you to do the same thing if it was the roles were reversed. And he goes, yeah, you're right. I was just a little hot about that. And he goes, he shouldn't have overshot him. I'm like, you're right. But if the ref didn't call it, then
there's nothing you can do.
Welcome to tournament paintball. And then he was cool. But then God, I'm bad about it. So then somebody in their pits goes and God, I shouldn't even do it this way, but I got to because you got to get the point right. He goes, are you going to be playing D4 next year? And I'm like, yeah, they're going to be playing D4. All right, well, I'm going to get his ass then. I'm like, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Because this kid's probably going to move on to some greater things. My 13-year-old definitely will. He's so smart and so cerebral, and he plays home. And just watching him at on their first point against they played a team called Native Misfits, which is local to here, for their finals yesterday. He plays like such a champ, and he communicates so well. And it's just, I see other 13-year-olds that play in this. There's another one that I'm trying to help come up in this sport a little bit that also plays at our field, who's actually playing youth division at World Cup. And I talked to him about that. So I've got him, and I got a couple of more kids that I'm sending with Destiny kids. So, and also that's a local team here that I was helping the guy. One of the guys that owns an indoor field here is running. He's sending a team that I think is going to be called Gangster Kids. From Gangster Paintball is helping them get out there. So is what is it? Outlaw Anodizing and Splat Zone. So
that's
the
awesome.
division is going to be really big. It's going to be a big step from last year, which we won every game at last year. See if I had a little graphic where your teeth go ting, I would have done it just now.
You know what? If you come back on, Lupe, I will make sure that I have that because I now have the Jeff Munoz look.
Oh, yeah.
Down, so.
Yeah. I love that guy. And like B says, that's her brother from the mother or whatever, brother or something like that. But at Bunkerfest, he ambushed Haley so good. It was so funny. And I was standing there because you know how he does live videos at Bunkerfest on his phone.
Yeah.
So he was walking out of the pits and they had just finished their last set. And she's not even paying attention. And he walked up like right next to her and he goes, Haley. And I mean, she jumped out of her skin. And then he so bad because he's over there going, I got you. Because she doesn't like to talk about herself or nothing. And he's asking her all these questions. Like, how does it feel to be a young icon in the WNXL? And she's just changing colors. And she's brown. It's hard to get red out of this, you know? She's just changing colors and everything. And she's all like this. And, it was so funny. But, yeah, I love that guy. I mean,
he's great. I want to get him back on.
I would. I would, start to finish. And I'd be in the chat freaking typing all sorts of weird stuff at him. So.
Oh, no.
We're going to have to do that.
Are you kidding me? We love having you. Yeah.
You're great when you're in our chat. We love everything that you're saying. It's great to have you on finally. And hearing about all that you want to do for the kids and just hearing how much you work with the kids is just it's awesome to hear, because these kids do need a good role model in the sport of paintball, coaching them and teaching them how to play. You're now one of them, along with Niles, also, who a lot of his guys are a little bit older, but you guys want to instill that
it's
the respect,
it's ethic and value.
the ethics.
And that's what we try to do, and that's ultimately what I try. Because really, if you think of it, I'm the assistant on this freaking team. Haley is the coach of this team, and I think that's another thing that chaps some people's asses that we have beat, or she has beat. And and what Fred says here is absolutely correct, and it's one of the reasons I do it, because I am going to be 51 years old next year. Ryan Greenspan and Marcelo and all these guys are not getting any younger.
Nope.
And somebody's got to start, they're going to have to start picking up some younger people. And I'll be damned if I could get at least one kid on a pro line, I will think I have mission accomplished. But if I just want to keep them playing. You see kids show up at our fields all the time, and they are scared out of their minds because of what's going on. What they see. So, like say at our field that we play locally, you walk, there's a kind of a corridor we walk through. On one side is a rec ball field with like a hyper ball field and stuff like that. And on the side is the airball fields where we practice and stuff like that. And I don't know how many times you see kids and birthday parties and stuff walking through, and they hear just, the rolling thunder coming off those bunkers and seeing what's going on. And their eyes are this big. And they're like, is that what we're getting ready to do? Because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've gone over there and actually, you'll see some parents, and I'm like, I'll overhear them saying something like, I wonder what this, their guns must shoot faster than ours. And I was like, oh, no, they really don't. They're just, and I'll explain everything to them. And, like some of the newer kids, like definitely the youngest one we have, Ashton, he started playing last August. And a lot of our kids started either in a year from July, and Ashton was August. So they played World Cup, right after, we started planning to go to World Cup with them in October. And then they played that, and they won the whole thing. They got an interview with Lauren Kelly. Who can say that? Every time I've tried to say hello to her, she gets a scowl,
Yeah, no kidding.
So, but yeah, she interviewed them. So they, and we built on that. And now, we've got a few other kids that are involved. I talked to a kid from one of the other teams yesterday about playing youth from Austin, because I met his dad. His dad's a real good guy. You kind of start focusing in on parents that get it, you go to a kid that's played a couple of times, and but they also play football or something, and you try to explain to that, and how it's hard kind of boy, am I babbling, but yeah, just explaining how the structure in paintball is different than, like, say, football or soccer or something.
Oh God, yeah. Although it's an interesting correlation between some of the skills, especially, if you've got a parent who, really is investing a lot of time in their kid in a particular sport, baseball, football, what have you.
Oh yeah.
You can start kind of, look at all of the time and effort that they put in on the field to be a faster runner, to be more, head on a swivel, field awareness. A lot of those skills translate to paintball. They do well.
Our fastest kid on our team at World Cup last year, he was breaking for the 50 every time, and Maddie was like, this kid has got pro speed, what he was saying on the telecast. And he is he kicks for his varsity football team. Now he does, but he's also a soccer player. We have 2 soccer players on our team. Oh, so interesting enough. So we have 2 soccer players. We have Ashton, who is also he used to do like rollerblading stuff, the youngest one. And then my kid Cullen, who's 15, he is a nationally ranked breakdancer. If you look like at our some of the stuff we shared on Instagram, our our photographer. He
Yeah.
took a video of him windmilling after we won the last USXPL, and I mean, you should see it. It's, I mean, but he's incredible, and he's so soft spoken and everything. But God, he's a good player. They're all great players, and and we've got tons of kids like that are not getting recognized for it, and it's like mad props to that. It's finally coming around. I guess yesterday or the day before, Thomas Taylor was talking to Manny Marshall, and he's putting in an infamous line,
Yeah.
So that's going to be great. And what Mark is doing with the Hermans and everything, and the ML kids are. So this is going to be it's going to be better than last year, because I think this year
it should be a really good event going on over at Cup. So really quick, Fred was asking if you're going to Cup, right, Lupe?
Yes, I have to, because I've got of course I pit for the Destiny Pro line, and also I'll be I'll be with AC Kids, which Haley always tells me, he's like, you need to worry about them more. She's more concerned about them than anything. Cheesecakes are not going to go. They're going to play USXPL championships in Dallas in October, as well as AC Kids. And then also, I will also be debuting another side project of mine that me and B have been talking about for a while, but we will be entering a team in D5 as Destiny Texas.
Nice.
Finally got the manpower to do it. Mad props to Zoe Tankersley for the help on this. She's been trying to get this going for a little bit. And
Fred says he wants you to look him up when you get to Cup.
I absolutely will. World Cup is the best family reunion I've ever been to. And I come from a big Mexican family, So
it's funny you bring that up too, Lupe, because I recall a comment that you had. There's an Instagram account called Paintball Sundays, which they post a lot of like really funny paintball memes and stuff like that. And so there was a particularly naughty picture of people doing slightly pornographic things and whatnot. Yeah. And somebody made a comment about a player that she's been in the game for a while. I'm not going to name names because, I don't want to make it, slander or anything like that. But at any rate, somebody brought up her name and you said, I remember hanging out with you at Mardi Gras. And that took me back because that was a time when paintball was, this was before the days of Huntington Beach. This was before the days of, MPPL Super 7 when, paintball was a party. Once everybody was off the field, you would have a hard time not finding a room where people were just loud music, drinks,
Good God. It wasn't back in the old World Cup days when it was at Wayne's World and stuff, or Flight of Fantasy. Yeah. And things, instead of everybody going to Old Town to like the Sun on the Beach and stuff like that, they were going to it was like downtown Orlando or something like that. And it's like, it seemed like, like every year now, somebody's got to suds up that freaking fountain over by the CVS. God, I've got, it's not World Cup until that happens, right? Like, but like, it seemed like before that, the tradition was somebody's got to get pants that does not wear an underwear, and inevitably, whoosh, there you go, somebody's ass.
There you go.
Yes.
Let's see. Fred says, "Lively." Oh, I wish I could have ever experienced. I've heard of Lively Masters. I never actually got to experience it.
Long before my time, that's for sure.
No,
it wasn't necessarily before our time. It was just more
before my time of actually playing tournament ball. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And
I'm looking at.
I was just going to say, for the people who either are watching this right now, who may not be aware of it, or the people who watch the broadcast, Lupe has actually been in the sport for quite a while. He would never admit it, but he's got some fame within the sport as well. He saw it in the roots.
Fame? Yeah, no thanks. If longevity is fame, then yes. What was that? Like Billy Madison? If wetting your pants is cool, then I'm Miles Davis. Or If being at paintball this long is famous, then I'm mild. Then I'm Ryan. So yeah.
Well, trust me, like after having Haley on, we've been wanting to have you on with us.
I've been dying to
talk
get
to
you
you.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because she kept talking about my dad, and then seeing a lot of the pictures of you guys together, it's like we want to have you on.
I mean, both of my kids go way back in this. Like, just they've been around it all their lives. Just to, I don't know if she mentioned it, but like my son, like his first Bunker Fest, he was 4 years old in 2004. And he was the star of the show, which I don't know if you remember some of but back then it was B. Paxton, obviously. Well, B. Paxton back then, obviously. It was some of the females. And Claire Benavides, who used to play out of here and used to play for.
I remember Claire. I think everybody had a secret crush on Claire, but her X-Mag was unbelievable. I loved that marker.
Yep. I think I got pictures of Chris holding that X-Mag because she was at Bunker Fest. And I'll never forget because Chris was gravitating because y'all remember Animal Paintball?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Mondo's company. Okay.
Yeah.
He had basically the 2004 version of Lauren Salinas working for him. I can't remember her name though. But my buddy told Chris, "Hey, go up to her and ask her if she'll marry you," or something like that. And my son just goes walking right up to it. I can't remember the name of the company that made, but he had paintball kid stuff is few and far between back then. It's even kind of hard to find now. But he was wearing a little shirt that on the back of it said, "My daddy will bunker your daddy." I'll never. And back then, I knew kind of the Warp Sports guys from Mississippi. Roger was the son, but so I had a Warp LCD Angel back then. So he got from there a banana yellow Warp Sports hat that fit him like this big, and he got that flip around his head, and he just walks up to him, "Will you marry me?" And of course, all the animal girls just freaking melted, and he hung out at their tent all day.
Of course.
So
I mean,
like,
Chris being Chris, yeah.
And I'm like, "You want to go meet an actual paintball player girl?" He didn't want to talk to Claire. And I was like, Claire was like, "Well, you really hurt my feelings." Finally, he went over there and took a picture with her, and then he was buddies with her. But those were some good days back then when he was.
Yeah.
And of course, Haley wasn't even born at that point. No, she was. I think she was like she was 2. So, my son
her flexing on her Instagram, talk about time. A picture of her as a toddler standing outside the nets,
watching me get blown up, probably. So, she got her start at 12, and then she played one time. Her brother ran her down and bunkered her first point that she had ever played. She didn't have her loader turned on, so I walked over there to turn her loader on, and he blows her and me up. She walks off the field and's like, "I'm not doing this again." And 2 years later, she starts playing, and the joke's on my son now because he wouldn't step on the field with her if you paid him $1,000.
Oh, that's funny.
That's fantastic.
How
is your son doing? He recently graduated from college, correct?
He is in his last year.
His last year. Oh, okay.
And which I don't know if y'all may or may not know. He goes to Texas A&M University.
Mm-hmm. He's an Aggie, yeah.
Yeah, he's a history and Japanese major, which I don't know. Haley even mentioned that. But my father, before he passed away, was working in Japan for 10 years. So both of them actually picked up quite a bit of Japanese when they go over there for the summers. So Haley was like 2 years old walking around and was like, "Oname wa nan desu ka?" And she claims she knows nothing about it. So, but it stuck with my son, and now he can read it and write it and speak it. And that's kind of
fantastic. That's a tough language to learn.
It is one of the toughest to learn. So,
definitely,
it's from what I understand. And after all these years, I've gotten to the point where I can, I don't speak Spanish. I can comprehend it. I can understand enough of it. Like, it's like fill in the blank. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I recognize that word, and that word. So they must be asking me this, right?
Yeah, you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
that's
has
me as well. I mean,
who has
growing up in Southern
doesn't
California,
understand it?
yeah.
This guy. So I've gotten to that point with kind of a little bit with Japanese, but my son's really great at it. He's also in the band there, which is the largest military band in the world. If you don't know that part about Texas A&M, it was originally a military institute, and it's like over 100 years old, and that's what he wanted to do his whole life. And so he is a senior now, and he's a captain in the band there. And so
That's great.
We're very proud of him.
Oh, absolutely.
We're very proud of him. And,
well.
and Haley's brilliant as well. She wants to become a doctor, and she's going to University of Houston here in Houston because she wanted to stay close by so she could still do her paintball stuff. So,
yeah, that's cool.
So,
well,
I have to ask. Sorry, a little off topic. I have to ask. So, how much did those boots set you back?
About $4,000.
Oh my God! So, for those of you guys who don't know, it's a tradition for the Aggies. They get their boots as part of
and Spurs.
And Spurs.
Yes, he has Spurs on there.
Oh my God!
And butterflies, which also cost a little bit. The butterflies are personalized. They're the covers on the front, and they usually say like thank you, Grandma and Papa, because his dad. My dad didn't live long enough to see him march at A&M, but that was one of his things that he wanted to do. So my mother and father, my mom helps him out. My mom is very involved with him as well, which is I'm very thankful for. My wife's parents live in Alabama, and they don't get to make it as much as they should, or could. Let's say could. If I say should, I'm gonna get punched later in my sleep. So.
Stacy comes in and smacks you in the back of the head.
Oh yeah.
But holy crap, $4,000 for the boots, the Spurs,
Yeah, he didn't have a saber yet, so that's enough.
Oh my God.
His ring was a couple of $1,000. He got a senior ring, but it's he's the first one in our family to graduate from a 4-year college. So, everybody else was 2-year or no year. So,
well, it's a huge accomplishment to do that in general. I mean, that's
yeah. And I don't know how it is in California, but if you graduate from A&M or Texas in this state, that's an automatic, like it's like getting a rare sword in, like, I don't know, what is that one in Warcraft? It's gonna pay off somewhere. I mean, it'll pay off.
It's not like that here in California. You go to USC, it's like, all right, you went to USC.
Yeah, a lot of people are not impressed. Now, if you went to like UC Davis, which is a little bit further up Northern California, that's a different story. Tell somebody you went to UC Davis, they're impressed.
Wait, which one is it? Is it UC Davis or Long Beach that's the banana slugs?
That is UC Irvine.
Irvine, okay.
Yeah.
I was just telling Haley about that, and she didn't believe me. I was like, yeah, there's one school out there, and they're the banana slugs.
And what's really funny is UC Irvine, their biggest draw is that's where you go to become a engineer. So
That's what A&M is known for too. I think
that's awesome.
I think when Chris originally was going to go for meteorology, and they were saying our college on campus is the smallest. We have 800 students. He goes, as opposed to the engineering school who has 20,000. So
yeah, exactly.
Jeez. Well, Lupe, I love having you on. We definitely we want you to come back. And
I want to hear some of your stories.
Well, not just the stories, but we also want to hear more about the AC kids, how they're doing.
Yeah.
I think, Dennis, I think we could say that we want to adopt the AC kids to be part of the Behind the Mask stable.
Yeah. Well, you don't know this, Eugene, but I actually did that a long time ago because I've been secretly coveting the pants and oh man, their logo is amazing. I love that.
I like their logo. I like the jerseys.
It's so cool.
Oh my God!
I wanted to get one of those jerseys. I want
those pants. Tell Haley to
Which ones? Because they now have 2 pairs of pants. Because
they have 2 different kinds now.
Because they're bougie like that. So.
Oh, okay. The only ones that I've seen where it was the AC Kids logo, but it was like the Louis Vuitton.
Okay. Yes, Haley has some of those. They stopped making them.
I
know.
Damn.
The thing is Greg Pauly, like at the beginning of the season, he's like, you know what, we're gonna do this right. You know, they played in their Cheeto looking jerseys last year, and they stuck with AC tradition. If you're not a pro team, you don't get your name on the back of your jersey. Which when Diesel wasn't pro, they didn't have any of their names on their jersey. They do now, right? So, so they don't have that. So he talked to GI, and they sponsored their jerseys and everything. So yeah, those are our old jerseys. Now we have what we call the OG AAC kids, and what you're looking at are OG kids, which are all now playing on other teams. Like let's see, Chris is not playing right now. Haley's playing pro. Christian's playing for the Cookie Cutters, or I call them the Stone Cutters from The Simpsons, but they're Stone Templars. There we go. Yeah, the 3 on the right play for the Stone Templars, which is a pretty good D4 team out of here. So, and then we got some that are playing even higher division than that. So, and then of course
those jerseys.
I really like those jerseys. Those are
I think Chris can. I think Joe. I deal with Colin, which is one of the AC Kids coaches. But Colin, I think they still can make those. But the jerseys they got now are the ones from Empire, so that they look a little bit different. We still got our little lion cub logo, which she keeps calling it a little bear.
Everybody thinks it's a bear. I knew it was a lion cub from the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
because it fits in with AC. The AC stable. So.
Right. Yeah. And so that was the whole idea. Trust me, you should have seen the first couple of them. Like, that looks a little too goofy. So they had to kind of bring it in a little bit. But yeah, in the youth bracket last year on the webcast, she's like, no, AC Kids is on the other side. She's telling Maddie this, and he goes, yeah, they're the ones with the little bears. I'm like. Oh my gosh. And that was so funny because B was stressing out about that because she put that all together, right? She's stressing about while she's talking to Maddie, she's talking to Haley on the phone, who's in the other pits with Mike Paxton and the other Destiny Kids and AC Kids. And she's trying to direct the show through Haley over there. And so Nick Sloviak was over in our pits with Alex Frazee. And Nick, Nick for a while, he's always messing with me or Haley. And he walks up to her and goes, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm talking to B. And he goes, oh, let me ask her something. And he goes, click. and hangs her the phone back. And so Haley's like, and so she calls me, what happened? I'm like, oh, they hang up. And then Mike can get a little heated sometimes. And I think he yelled at her to get off the phone too, because he told her, I'm talking to B. And it was just so funny. Haley's so adopted by those two. It's so funny they treat her like one of her kids.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I get the feeling that almost every event you guys go to, they're like somebody's Lupe, Haley,
Oh my God. Yeah. Like I said, it's the world's best. It's the best reunion. It's like my wife, she jokes about it, but she hated it at first, but she gets it now. It's like, all right, well, are we ready to go eat or something? And an hour later, we're finally at the parking lot. Because, we're walking past the smoothie truck. Oh, look, there's freaking there's Haley's buddy from New York. Stop there and talk for 10 minutes. Then we go, hit the I don't know, that one sales rep I know from HK Army I always talk to, and I talk too much. I have to warn everybody, shut me up because I won't stop. And I mean, it's obvious, right? I wasn't lying. But you and then you're walking out and you run into somebody else. Last year we had to stop because Haley had to film because the New York Extreme guys, their tent was right next to Diesel's, and the Diesel guys already left. And so Hussein and all them, they're over there desecrating their tent with a bunch of New York Extreme stickers. I mean, they stickered the whole front of that tent.
Wow.
And so, of course, Haley's just like,
oh my God.
So,
man.
It's such a great time. If you, like I tell everybody here, you got the chance to go. I've been telling all our divisional teams around here that are always hesitant to do anything beyond local stuff. I was like, look, you need a team, I'll get you a team. Destiny we sport so many teams that I could find somewhere, anywhere. You want to go and just, I don't know, use a blowgun. I'll find a team for you. I'll just play it once. You will never forget it, and you will have the best time. Stay in the freaking stay at the Cerro-Lago. Hopefully you won't get a room that looks like it's been kicked in by the police. Hopefully, Which, by the way, the last time I stayed there, it looked like the door got kicked in. It's you do that little latch, and then you open the door, and it still opens up because the latch was ripped off the wall. But
oh my God! See, I hear stuff like that, and it just makes me think of some of the behind the scenes footage from Trauma Head.
Yes, it was probably at the it was the other hotel. Other hotel was even funnier because the front end of this hotel was, in the Cerro-Lago was straight from what you think if you're going. I'm going to Disney World in the 70s. Yeah, the rooms look just like that. Frozen in time, right? So the other hotel on the other side of Old Town, where the refs used to all stay. So it was a nonstop party anyway. Why not? Everybody's got all this energy from fields and getting shot up by Brazilians from 6 to 8 in the evening. And then going getting tanked in front of their rooms, right? Had a nice pool, though, I guess. But the front end of this, you check in, and I'll never forget it because you check in, and it was Puerto Rican people. I can tell this because I lived in the Virgin Islands for a long time. Knew a lot of Puerto Ricans, so I always can detect the accent. I joke with Stacy and Haley. It's like every time I get into Orlando International, the first things I learn, I don't know the mayor of my own town, but I know Buddy Rich is the mayor of Orlando because right? And all of a sudden, every bit of Spanish I hear, I understand. For some reason, I just picked that up faster as the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans because I worked around them for so much,
Right.
But anyway,
right.
See, I'm getting off topic. I talk too damn much.
No, that's fine.
So
let's bring you back on topic so we can get. We're gonna wrangle you in.
Yeah,
okay,
we gotta bring you in. Sorry.
Okay. But the old hotel was awesome because right on the left of it was the Lux LUXE massage parlor. Yeah. No open booking there while the refs were there, right? And then and then you walk across the hallway and it was a dim sum restaurant. That was also a reggaeton club. Welcome to Miami, folks, or welcome to Orlando, folks.
Wow.
So
under the ground.
Let's just say that Lupe is definitely recommending everybody to go to World Cup.
Yes,
and he's got a couple of
100%.
hotels that he can recommend.
I can recommend a few. I'm actually staying with one of the other coaches in the Staybridge this year. I'm actually staying at somewhere that's nice. That's I don't know, got locks and soap and not.
Well,
you don't feel like you're gonna wake up dead.
Yeah. I don't want to wait. Get woke up by red and blue flashing lights in the parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Lupe, it's been awesome talking to you. We definitely want to do this again.
Thank you so much.
We said before, and I'm glad you came on. So, with that, we are going to say goodbye to you. But do you want to mention anything else before you go?
Are you sure you want me to do that? I did say I talk too much. This may be like walking out a World Cup, and it's an hour.
I'm fine with giving you a platform. Yeah, I mean that's ultimately what we want to do is promote the sport in any way we can.
Just that if you're second guessing about World Cup and you've got any questions about it, I'm one of those people that will tell you, hey, it's not as bad as you just got to get there. And, the paint's usually not as terrible as you may mentally think it is. And if there's always someone that needs a team, me or B can always find a place for you.
Yeah.
I mean, and even beyond that, like one of my buddies that just started, God, here I go again. Shorten it.
Right.
Short
version.
Short. One of my buddies that was apprehensive about going, I told him, just go. And he surprised me, and he showed up, and he ended up getting picked up on the Hormesis 10-man line. And he says, Lupe, I don't know why I never did this before. I am never not coming to this again. And, that's one of my best buddies, too. So,
That's
anyway,
awesome.
so
Okay.
I guarantee you'll have a good time.
All right. Lupe, thank you for coming on. We're going to let you go because I'm going to debut a new segment really quick. It's going to be a quick one because we've been going forever. And I know Fred, I think, is still on here. And I know that his motto is keep it to a minute to an hour. Yeah, we go forever, Fred.
We're almost at 2 hours now.
Yeah,
it's always engaging.
45 minutes of me babbling. I mean,
You know what, though? Honestly, again, it was such a pleasure to have you on. I cannot thank you enough.
Well, I appreciate it. Y'all. So, I like Monday nights. That's what I look forward to, is listening to y'all. So,
we
thank you.
really do.
A lot.
Thank you so much.
The only reason I wasn't on it when y'all started was because I was on one of my old man walks. So,
yeah. All right, Lupe. Then we're gonna let you go, and we're gonna move on to the next thing. So, Lupe, have an amazing night. We look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll definitely see your comments next Monday. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You have a good night.
Have a great night, Lupe. Thanks again.